ever thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested? And I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. Just the same way nobody tells on Denzel Washington. People don't usually talk and stop and think about the children victims that are going through things right now as we speak, and the ones who suffered through all this
I will never forget the first time I stepped into that world. I was a small-town girl with the naive dream of entering the sparkling world of showbiz, but what I found had nothing to do with glamour. My name is A. I never thought that my job as a personal assistant for D would change my life forever, dragging me into an endless nightmare. At first, everything seemed normal. Fancy dinners, expensive clothes, familiar faces from movies and magazine covers. Then, slowly, the curtain was lifted. The bright lights of the parties hit a darkness I never could have imagined. I remember my first night at one of the exclusive events. A huge villa, with music blaring like an irregular heartbeat, and a frantic atmosphere that made me feel like a prisoner. I remember my first night at one of the parties. A massive villa, the floor vibrating to the rhythm of the music. There was something strange in the air, like a tension I couldn't explain. And then I saw them. Children. No older than 10, lost in a world that had nothing to offer them. No one seemed to pay attention to them, but there were looks and eyes that said something different. Speaking up wasn't easy. For years I buried everything, convinced no one would believe someone like me. But over time, my silence was broken. Those images, children placed on tables like decorations, their eyes dull and hopeless, haunt me every night. When I decided to tell my story, my family paid the highest price. We lost everything. No one wanted to be associated with my voice. The world seemed determined to ignore the truth. I spoke of ceremonies, actions that seemed straight out of a nightmare, but the response I received was one of complete indifference. It wasn't just D. Those events were attended by some of the most powerful and beloved people in the industry. And when I spoke the name DW, even I felt like I was betraying something sacred. He, an icon of integrity and faith, could he really be involved? And his presence raises more questions than answers. The parties weren't just parties. They were like a theater with a secret performance taking place. Closed rooms, whispers in the ear, eyes following your every move. Once I was taken into one of those rooms. It was dark, the walls covered in heavy fabrics. The floor seemed to pulse beneath my feet like there was something alive. In the center was a table. On it, a child. He was motionless, food placed on his body like a serving dish. The guests laughed, served themselves, as if everything were normal. It wasn't normal, it wasn't human. There was a man with a golden mask watching me. "Look and learn," he told me. I don't know how, but I found the strength to leave that room. From that moment on, my mind shattered. Confused memories, like my brain trying to protect me from something too big to face. The name DW is a shadow that looms over all of this. I never said he was directly involved, but I know he was. Once, I saw him arguing fiercely with D. I heard the words, "You don't respect anyone," before he left the villa with his wife. And yet, I can't help but wonder, why was he there? Could he not have known what was happening in those rooms? I remember a conversation with a younger actor, BTJ, who told me about a warning he received from DW. "Leave these parties before the devil arrives." The devil. That word sends shivers down my spine. It's not a metaphor. The things I saw do not belong to this world. Hollywood is not what it seems. Its stars shine brighter, but they hide the darkness beneath. People turn a blind eye, too fascinated by the celebrity myth to accept that their idols may have such horrible secrets. And DW? I don't know. I don't want to accuse him unjustly, but I can't ignore the fact that he was there, like many others. His good deeds and public image seem almost like a contradiction compared to that place. When people ask me why I didn't speak sooner, they don't know what it's like to live with the weight of what I've seen. Speaking up has never been an easy option. It's not just fear. It's knowing that if you speak, you become a target. They made it clear to me what would happen if I revealed what I knew. It wasn't just me in danger. Anyone close to me was at risk. And then there's something even harder, the feeling of not being believed. When you speak of such dark things, people don't want to listen. It's too disturbing. They treat you like you're the problem, like you're crazy. I remember when I tried to tell part of my story to someone I trusted. I thought they would support me, but instead, they said, "It can't be true, not from them. They're respectable people." Respectable? What's respectable about exploiting the vulnerable? The evidence I had was dismissed. Every attempt to bring the truth to light was blocked by an invisible yet indestructible wall. The power machine is ruthless, but I can't stay silent anymore. I do it for those children, for the people who never had a voice. If I don't speak, who will? There are forces that operate in silence. I'm talking about a system, a mechanism so vast it's hard to imagine. But I'll tell you this, it exists, and it does everything to protect itself. When you watch a movie or see a star on the red carpet, everything seems perfect. But what I've learned is that many of those lights serve to hide the darkness. It's like a theater. You only see the stage, not what happens behind the scenes. I don't know what will happen now that I've spoken. Maybe people will continue to turn a blind eye, or worse, I'll be silenced. But I want you to know one thing. The truth exists. It's out there, even though it hurts. Ignoring what's happening won't make the horror disappear. My message is this: don't look away. Look the darkness straight in the eye and ask yourself what you can do to stop it. Even a small step can make a difference. And if these words have reached you, then speaking up won't have been in vain. I hope you choose to see.